Citi Field in New York. The New York Mets play the St. Louis Cardinals. Today's game is presented by Chevrolet. New York Mets baseball on SNY is brought to you by Chevrolet. By DraftKings, the official daily fantasy partner of the New York Mets. By Geico, over 75 years of savings and service. By Astoria Bank. At Astoria Bank, the difference is wanting to make a difference. Visit AstoriaBank.com. And by Mazda, KellyBlueBook.com's lowest cost to own brand over 5 years. Day baseball in the big city as the Mets wrap up their homestand. Come by way of Grand Central on the 7 train out to the ballpark. Play hooky if you must. Mets are all ready to go. Clubhouse ready, and DeGrom ready to take the hill. And a pleasant good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Citi Field. I'm Gary Cohen. Keith Hernandez will be here eventually as the Mets take on the St. Louis Cardinals in the finale of a 4-game series. The Mets won on Monday night in 14 innings, scratching out a run on an infield hit, but the last 2 days they have been bombarded by the Cardinals, beaten 10-2 and 9-0. First time in more than 30 years that the Mets have lost back-to-back home games by 8 runs or more. The Mets will try and get even in the series with Jacob deGrom on the mound this afternoon, coming off not only a terrific pitching outing against the Brewers, but a 3-for-3 hitting performance as well. And kind of an unknown for the Cardinals this afternoon because the veteran lefty Jaime Garcia, who has barely pitched in the last 2 years, makes his first start of the season. Down in the field, Steve Gelbs is standing by with the newest Met, Daryl Siciliani. Steve?
Thanks, Gary. And Daryl, take us through that moment a few days ago. You get called up to the big leagues. You were having a great year, but were you expecting it at all?
I can't say I was really expecting it. I was just going out every day trying to battle and compete and just get better. You know, when I got the call, I was actually out with my family. We were getting ready to have dinner, so we left. I was with my dad, my grandmother, and his girlfriend. So to get the call with them there, and it was funny, it was my grandma's birthday too. So I mean, it was just an awesome feeling, and I was super emotional and speechless.
Pretty good birthday present for Grandma. What was their reaction, your grandma and your dad?
They were happy for me. They were ecstatic and they were emotional as well. I don't know if it really hit any of us, kind of what was going on, but it was just a great feeling and a great night.
Now you're the first draft pick from 2009 for the Mets to make it to the major leagues. There's another guy, Steven Matz, that may be pretty close. You played with him in Vegas. What can Mets fans expect once he gets up here?
Man, he's a great kid, always smiling, and he's a competitor. He's a bulldog on the mound. He goes out, he attacks the strike zone with all his pitches, and he's not scared of anything. He's always up for the challenge, and he's going to give you everything he's got that night when he's out there. So he's a great guy.
Daryl, thanks so much for the time. Congrats again.
No problem. Thank you.
All right, we're coming right back here. Mets Cardinals, game 4 of 4. Stay with us.
brought to you by Infinity. Visit your tri-state area Infinity retailer for a test drive today. By State Farm. Today's State Farm agent of the game is John Garfinkel of Brooklyn. Contact John at johngarfinkel.com. And by Bob's Discount Furniture, quality choice and untouchable value every day. Get to Citi Field Saturday, May 30th, when the Mets take on the Marlins at 4:10 p.m. The first 15,000 fans will receive a Mets beach towel courtesy of Pepsi. For tickets, visit Mets.com/tickets. Cold Hard Facts brought to you by Clean Crisp Coors Light. Jacob deGrom, historically strong at home through his first 15 starts, has the third best earned run average in Major League history in his home starts, trailing only Mark Fidrich and Hideo Nomo. deGrom and the Mets against the Cardinals, trying to get a split of the series. First pitch coming up from Citi Field. A cool Thursday afternoon, ready to make his 9th start of the season. The potent Cardinals, 19 runs the last 2 days. We'll have Kolten Wong leading things off. Here's your Cardinals starting lineup this afternoon. Johnny Peralta moves up to the 3-hole with Matt Holliday getting the day off. Yadier Molina gets a rare day off as well. Tony Cruz catches. Mark Reynolds in left field replacing Holliday. And this game starts with Jacob deGrom pitching to Kolten Wong, and he throws a first pitch curveball in for a strike.
Well, there's deGrom's numbers. Coming off his best start of the year, game 2 in that series against Milwaukee. That 14-1 game where he got 3 for 3. He went 6 strong innings, 1 run, 5 hits, 1 walk, 6 Ks. I thought kept the ball down for the first time consistently. Garrett.
Wong is 5 for 16 in this series. He's driven in 4 runs. Cardinals were held to 1 run in 14 innings in the opening game of the series Monday night, but they have exploded the last 2. And he chases a high fastball. Wong is struck out, and deGrom posts a K to start his afternoon.
Well, good start for Jacob. And we'll take a look at the lovable day game Metsy Lexus defense. Mayberry getting a start with the left-hander out there in right field. Granderson gets a rest. Same infield. And Plawecki behind the plate. Of course, they've been a platoon there with Monell and him.
Here's Matt Carpenter, 1 for 10 in this series. So he has not really participated in all the Cardinal offensive explosion the last 2 days, but he is having a tremendous year.
7 home runs.
5th in the National League in slugging percentage. By the way, I know you all recognize the voice, but we haven't introduced him properly today. That's Keith Hernandez.
And I was on time, but I got 86th out of the open. I'm a little upset, so if I'm a little grumpy today, bear with me.
Can you prove you were on time? Did you punch the time card?
I was on time. I'm ready to go, though. I love day games. You know that, folks. This is wonderful.
Mets are playing 4 day games in the next 5 days. Starting today.
It means nice dinner hour for a change. We love it.
Let's see. We got night game tomorrow, but then a 4 o'clock game Saturday in Pittsburgh, 1:30 game Sunday, and then come back here on Memorial Day, Monday, and play a 1 o'clock game against the Phillies. 2-2 to Carpenter, starting the day hitting .313, and he smacks one the other way, and he's got himself a base hit. Over goes Kadire, can't field it cleanly, but Carpenter had already slammed on the brakes, and he'll hold it first with a 1-out single.
Nice backdoor slider, and that's how you hit it. Tip your hat to the hitter. Probably too much plate. Didn't start outside as a ball enough. I think it started out as a strike and kind of broke in maybe to about 2 or 3 inches on the plate, but that's still good hitting.
So 1 out and 1 on. Now Johnny Peralta hitting 3rd in the order today. Peralta 4 for 12 in the series. Has hit in 8 straight games now. And he goes after the first pitch fastball, 0-1. Well, Carpenter getting that base hit. And it's getting the lefties out that's been the concern for DeGrom this season. The lefties hitting .330 against him.
Last time out, Gary, I'll interject here. It was lefties went 2 for 9 against him. And Sardinius was the one that got the 2 hits. So we seem to solve the other 3 lefties.
Righties have not been a problem for DeGrom. They're hitting just .195 against him. Head on Peralta 0-2 with Matt Adams on deck. He goes low and away with the fastball. Last year in his rookie season, the biggest stumbling block for DeGrom was his start against the Cardinals. It was his 7th big league start, and he got walloped for 6 runs and 12 hits in 4 1/3 innings. So most of the guys in this Cardinal lineup have seen him and done well against him.
Well, he gave up in 4 1/3 a career high 12 hits and a career high 6 runs.
1-2. Just missed. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
To have that pitch.
Adrian Johnson is the home plate umpire. He has figured prominently in a Mets Cardinals game before. Remember, he was the 3rd base umpire, and Johan Santana's no-hitter who called Carlos Beltran's ball foul before there was replay. Had there been replay, the Mets would still be looking for their first no-hitter.
You have got a mind like a bear trap.
Is that good or bad?
That's good.
Bill Miller is the crew chief of this unit. He's working at first base today.
All very good umpires. The first 3 games behind the plate.
2-2 from DeGrom, and Peralta fouls back the fastball. He's been great at doing that in this series, keeping at bats alive.
And he's a guy with a funky swing. He's got a long swing, a little peculiar swing. I've been trying to figure it out for the last 3 days. It works for him.
21 home runs last year, 6 already this year, and hitting over 300. And it's on the outside corner, strike 3 call.
Changeup.
Second strikeout of this opening inning for DeGrom.
And look at the movement too. That's a heck of a pitch. That's got corner. You bet. He's got the big leg kick.
It's a place you don't see a lot of right-handers go against right-hand hitters with their changeup. Now big Matt Adams, who has woken up in this series. He came in struggling mightily in a 2 for 33 hole, but he's gone 4 for 10 in this series so far, including a massive 3-run homer last night.
He hit a couple rockets in this series. Big strong guy. Oh, threw it right by him. That's dial it up a notch. He just pounded him up and in. It's a big game for DeGrom to put it back to back against a formidable lineup.
1-2 to Adams. The guy who has produced the biggest headline in this series, Randall Grichuk, hitting 5 today, and he's on deck.
It's a nice story. There were 5 punch outs in the first game, and he's been killing it ever since.
5 extra base hits the last 2 days.
Good for him.
Carpenter at first, 2 out. And Adams chases the fastball away. DeGrom strikes out 3 in the opening inning. Good start for Jacob. Mets will try and generate some offense against Jaime Garcia when we come back. Yeah, but he finally gets to take a big league mound again. 11 months since his last major league start. Juan Lagares in the leadoff spot today. That's because Curtis Granderson's getting the day off against the lefty. Your Geico Mets starting lineup. Wilmer Flores hit second for the first time this year. Terry Collins trying to bunch some guys who have had success against lefties this year at the top of the batting order.
Well, there's Jaime Garcia, off of rotator cuff surgery last year. Had 7 starts for the Cardinals in April and May, then went on the DL and under the knife. And this is his first start of the season. 13-game winner 2 years in a row. That was back in 2010 and 2011. Fastball curve change. Can make the fastball run, make it sink.
To Lagares, hitting leadoff for the 3rd time this year. He's hit in 4 straight games, trying to get revved after a long dry spell. Takes a called strike, and it's 2-1. Jaime Garcia, now 28 years old.
He's got a rush motion. He's quick. Kind of oomps it at the last minute. He's very compact. 6'2", 215 pounds, 28 years of age.
He's had so many different problems to deal with. He had Tommy John surgery back in 2008. And he walks Lagares to lead off, only the 6th time Lagares has walked all season. And the Mets get the leadoff man on.
Well, we'll take a look at your Coors Light Alberto's defense, as they used to call it with when Cepeda was there in '67. Reynolds gets the start in left field. Same infield. Tony Cruz gets to start. Molina finally.
What is Alberto's? You completely lost me there.
No, Alberto's. That was when Cepeda, Chacha was there in '67 when he came over, won the MVP. They all fell in love with Cepeda. They called him the Albertos.
Oh, Albertos.
Yes.
Okay, I was thinking Albertos, and I'm thinking, what is that?
No, I wasn't.
Albertos.
Yes.
Like birds.
When Cepeda took St. Louis by storm in '67, had his greatest season, of course, as you know. Traded for Ray Sadecki. Ray Sadecki had won 20 games.
Of course, Sadecki later became a Met and helped them to the National League pennant in '73. Giants
were wanting to move McCovey from left field to first base, and they were disenchanted with Orlando. Orlando came over and won the MVP. Cardinals went on and won the World Series in '67, of course, against the Red Sox. Bob Gibson winning 3 games.
Flores hitting second in the order, first time this season, and Garcia still trying to get himself in some kind of rhythm. He made 9 starts 2 years ago, and then he had the rotator cuff and labrum surgery. He made 7 starts last year. Then he had thoracic outlet surgery to remove pressure on a nerve and take away the numbness that he was feeling in his hand. So he has barely pitched the last 2 years, and frankly, a lot of people around the Cardinals figured they were never going to see him again in a Cardinal uniform. But he came to spring training this year, and he was throwing hard and battled for a 5th starter's job. Then he developed some shoulder fatigue, and they had to slow him down a little bit. They had 2 rehab starts in the minors, and now getting a crack at him. 2-2 to Flores. The reason he's getting a chance is because of the Adam Wainwright injury. They've tried 2 different guys in that spot, Tim Cooney and Tyler Lyons, and they've both struggled. So Garcia, the latest candidate, and Mike Matheny really doesn't know what to expect from Garcia. Basically said if it works, it works. If not, we'll go on to the next guy.
Well, the one good thing for the Cardinals is they came in here with a very taxed bullpen. They have 9 guys in the pen coming into this series for the first 3 games, and
now they have 8.
Now they have 8. They sent the what do you pronounce it, Gary?
Tuivalala.
They sent him out. There's Wainwright, of course, 20-game winner. That's just a big blow for them. But you know what? The Cardinals just picked up and haven't lost stride.
And it would be fitting if Garcia were the guy to take Wainwright's spot, because when Wainwright blew out his elbow and had Tommy John surgery back in 2011, it was Garcia who stepped up and had a terrific year in his spot. Won 13 games that year. Flores just foul-tipped it on the check swing.
And getting back to the bullpen of the Cardinals, which was heavily taxed because their starters weren't going deep, the offense kind of helped out with the big 2 blowouts the last 2 days. Their big innings guy, Carlos Villanueva, has not pitched this series, so he's going to be ready. Belisle's going to be ready. Harris, Manis is ready. I mean, they were able to go just to basically Schote and Sokolovich and Tuivalala.
Carpenter gets it to Wong. The relay to first in time for the double play. 5-4-3 double play. 2 out and nobody on.
Ditto from Carpenter. Watch. Don't have to get set. You threw on the run. That it takes away. If you catch that ball and set yourself to throw, then that's an extra second. It may not turn 2. But he throws on the run. It's an easy 2. Very impressive. That's his natural position, correct? They got him out of second base when they're waiting for Wong to develop.
So here's Duda hitting .390 against lefties this year.
Big pull here for Lucas. He's hit the balls hard right into the shift in this series. Gary, you and I, Ronnie, we follow the Mets. We see them every day, day in, day out. So we know the hitting tendencies. But look where the left fielder Mark Reynolds is. Everybody's on the pole except Mark Reynolds in left, because we've seen Lucas hit the ball in the air down the left field line. So there's some pretty good scouting going on.
Well, it's one thing the Cardinals have done well in this series is position their outfielders. The 2 plays that Jason Hayward made last night were just incredible, because both Kadire and Granderson drilled the ball down the right field line, and there was Hayward to catch the ball both times. 2-1 to Duda.
So if I know Lucas is kind of a pull hitter, and I know he's got potential to hit that ball in that left center field gap. That would get him thinking twice about putting the shift and losing base hits. Good pitch right there. Good sinker. There's Mr. Oquendo, and Molina on the right, finally getting a day off. Trooper, you can play on my team.
5 a.m. arrival Monday morning, 14 innings Monday night. Played the whole game Tuesday, most of the game last night. He's amazing.
Ozzie Oquendo. Let's see how the coaches are so involved here. It just seems there's more of a, well, I see purpose in this Cardinal team in every aspect of their play.
It's not a coincidence when a team goes to the National League Championship Series 4 years in a row and makes the postseason 11 times in a 15-year span. That's what the Cardinals are working on right now.
Well, they basically put on a clinic here the last 2 nights.
3-2 to Duda, and he takes strike 3 call. Didn't think so. Lingers to talk about it with Adrian Johnson.
And that's probably around as big an argument as you're ever going to get out of little Luke here. He's right. It was off the plate.
No score after 1. They've won more World Series titles than any National League team.
Well, they are the Yankees of the National League.
Randall Grichuk leads off in the second, and foul tips the first one.
Interesting that you brought up yesterday when Grichuk struck out 5 times. He listened to a motivational tape, you said.
Yep.
I never would have thought of doing that. That's interesting.
What would your system have been in terms of getting yourself back on track after a terrible night?
I probably would have gone out and yucked it up with the guys and maybe had a sit down with Johnny Walker or something.
Is he a motivational speaker?
You know,
black or blue.
It depends on where you are in your career. If I did that in 1975, I'd have been devastated. If I did it in 1980 or in the 80s, I'd have been fine.
To me, that's what makes Grichuk's bounce back so remarkable. He's 23 years old and doesn't have a whole lot of major league experience.
So the Cardinals knew what they were doing when they went after this kid. He's that young. My goodness, he's got a future. He can run. made some fine defensive plays in this series.
By the way, he's had a double and a triple in each of the last 2 games. The last time a Cardinal had a double and a triple in back-to-back games, you're not going to believe this. Red Schoendienst, 1952. Last time a Cardinal had a double and a triple in back-to-back games.
That's before I was born. I was born a year before I was born. Might have been in the womb when Red did that.
Red was a good player.
Yes, he was.
He's been around for a long time. He managed the Cardinals.
It is kind of, the Cardinals with all their speed, you would think with Willie McGee and Ozzie Smith, Vince Coleman,
Stan Musial.
Yes, Stan the man.
Stan played another 11 years after 1952.
Well, we talked about the all-time little Cardinal leader in triples was Stan with 177. And I got texted by all my Cardinal buddies, St. Louis buddies, I should say, that no Stan.
Pulled down to third. That's a foul ball.
Just foul. That was the statistic that Stan was most proud of. More than his home runs, his batting average. He was very, very, very proud of his 177 triples.
Ninth pitch of the at-bat coming from DeGrom to Grichuk. And he strikes him out with the up and away fastball. 4 outs, 4 strikeouts for DeGrom today.
And he's got life on the fastball. And that's where you want to get it upstairs. Just beat him. He's got that live arm, boy. He just, I can't put an adjective on live. I can't find a way to describe to you what a live fastball means. But this fastball's alive. Zings in there.
Jason Hayward pops it up. Who's going to get it? DeGrom sliding, and he can't make the catch, and he tangled with Campbell as he made the slide.
I just do not want to see anybody get hurt here, please. Oh my goodness. Hold your breath right there.
The ball was not hit very high in the air, and Jacob was a terrific athlete. Figured he had the best shot at it, which he did. But I'm not sure that Campbell knew that DeGrom was going to slide for it.
There goes the pennant.
Well, I know that Terry would probably prefer that DeGrom not try to make that play. But you know what? He's not your average pitcher when it comes to that. You know, they used to say, Ronnie talks about it all the time, let the athletes take it.
Right.
Well, he's one of them.
Well, Bob Gibson was a great fielding pitcher. Great athlete.
Terrific basketball player Gibson was.
Also, I believe he was a doggone good tennis player, too. Ron Darling was a terrific fielding pitcher, athlete.
Ike Hampton.
Rick Russell. You wouldn't think so.
Hayward golfs one foul. Hayward had a home run last night. 3 for 9 in this series. And in his career against DeGrom, 3 hits and 6 at bats while playing for the Braves. Mark Reynolds on deck.
A little chilly, a little chill in the air, Gare.
Low 60s. Overcast, not as windy as it was last night, though.
But it's a beautiful day game. Beautiful day for a day game.
What are you, Bob Murphy?
Oh.
Murphy would always say that. It could be 28 degrees and snowing. He'd say, a beautiful day for a game.
Well, I got a funny story if we can get it in real quick. Yeah, we can't. When I broke my kneecap, then I was on the DL for 8 weeks. I came to a day game late, and I was driving by. I was late because I heard Murph doing, "Hello, everybody, it's Bob Murphy, and what a wonderful day at Big Shea."
2-2 from DeGrom. Ooh. And Hayward on a ball that was riding in on his hands, somehow able to make contact and snapped as bad as he did.
Old Cutter sawed him off.
Well, DeGrom is off to a good start here, but he's already had some very long at bats. Took him 9 pitches to put away Grichuk. He's already thrown 7 to Hayward, and those at bats tend to shorten your tenure in a game. On the outside corner, strike 3 call. 5 outs, 5 strikeouts for Jacob deGrom.
Paint. This is what I love. That's what made him the Rookie of the Year last year. Knees in black, both sides of the plate.
Well, that's what they've been working with Jacob on, shortening his strides, shortening his take back, and trying to get that sink and that low location back. He did it better against the Brewers, and he's off to a hot start today. Now Mark Reynolds playing left field today, and he chases a slider off the plate. 0-1.
Well, here's a guy that strikes out a lot, but has tremendous power. And you got to be very careful. He can be pitched to, and you can make him a big out, but you make a mistake, he'll hurt you.
Already seen that in this series. He drilled a home run into the seats in left field on Tuesday night against John Neese.
I think he's a pretty good guy to have on your bench.
Breaks his bat, rolls it out to Flores, and that retires the side. 5 strikeouts in the first 2 innings for Jacob deGrom. No score at Citi Field. Five times on the 2015 Esurance MLB All-Star Game ballot at Mets.com. Voting is exclusively online and available on your computer, tablet, and smartphone. Vote at Mets.com now. Michael Cuddyer leads off the home second and fouls 1. 0-1.
Cuddyer still in search of his stroke. It's been a struggle for him. 238. It's not where he's accustomed. Here we are, what, quarter of the way through the season? A little over, right, Gary?
And he's hitting just .212 against lefties, which is curious. Ball to strike to Cuddyer. Murphy and Mayberry to follow against Jaime Garcia, working his first big league game since June of last year. When Garcia has been healthy, he has been a very good major league pitcher, and the Mets have seen that before. 4 career starts against the Mets, 2-0 with an 0.96 ERA. But the last time he faced them was in 2012. Cuddyer drills one down the left field line. Foul.
Those are the little things right there, Gary. Cuddyer, he's a high ball hitter. Loves that ball belt high up. That was his pitch. And he's out in front. You're just not in rhythm. You're not in sync. The ball, when you're red hot, that's a ball he probably hits out of the ballpark or drives into the gap. Instead, he's out in front. Just trying to find that spot.
As you get older as a hitter, do you have to start your swing earlier?
No, if you start, that is a a misconception, and I'll get you in nothing but trouble. You don't trust the quickness of your hands, and you start ball 4 right there. Another leadoff walk here in the second. If you start thinking that, okay, I'm getting beat and I got to start quicker, I may have lost a little bit of, I may have lost that little something. Uh-oh, he's got a fan club here.
Well, why not after the last 2 days?
It's probably after his sunflower seeds. That's what it is.
Probably.
If you starting too quick, then you're going to get in big trouble. Let's start looking area more when you get older. By area, I mean outer inner half of the plate. Murph, by the way, has been uncharacteristic. Say it.
Uncharacteristic.
Thank you. Struggling against left-handers.
143 this year.
4 for 28. It's, you know, Murph hits left-handers as good as anybody, and he'll come out of it too.
Well, the Mets have only scored 4 runs in the first 3 games of this series, and Murphy counted for 2 of them with a 2-run homer on Tuesday night. Mets got shut out last night. So Murphy's home run, the last runs the Mets scored. And the curveball from Garcia strikes him out looking.
Okay, you know what? That's a case right there. You drop a little slow hook. The first slow hook he's thrown the whole game. Okay, you're the 5th batter in the order. You'll put that in the back of your head. You'll remember that. Murph will remember that. Froze him. Stayed inside.
Can he hit that pitch if he's looking for it? With his far
well, he doesn't have to look for it to hit it. He can look fastball and hit it. Murph's that kind of hitter.
But something that starts behind your back and breaks over the inside corner.
Haven't faced Garcia in how long? Quite a while.
3 years.
And okay, he still hasn't. You've been observing him pitch. That's the first time he's thrown that pitch. He threw a sneak attack on you, ambushed you.
Well, here's John Mayberry, who delivered the game-winning infield hit in the 14th inning Monday night. Mayberry has good career numbers against Garcia, 6 hits in 13 at-bats. He has started every time the Mets have faced a lefty this year. This is only the 9th time in 42 games that the Mets have faced a left-hand starter. Mets are 3-5 in their first 8 games against lefty starters.
I got to throw out a shout out here. I just been texted by Bruce Suter.
Oh, good.
Somewhere in Georgia. And Bruce, Jamie, how are you? And good to hear from him.
Is he still throwing splitters?
I don't know what he's doing. I bet you he's hunting.
There goes Kadire, and Mayberry fouls it off. Looked like a straight steal from Kadire. He wasn't looking back. It would be his first attempt of the year, but he goes back to first.
Kadire, a very heady player, and again, you can steal off a left-hander easier than a right-hander if you are not a stolen base threat. You can sneak it. Just take a chance he's not coming over. Now, Bruce would be the first one to tell you that I wore him out when he was with the Cubs. Couldn't get me out.
Well, that would be impressive because nobody else could hit him.
No one else could. We were very happy when Whitey traded for him. Let's just put it that way.
What would have possessed the Cubs to give him up?
I haven't the slightest idea. Was that the Ken Reach trade? I believe.
Yeah.
And Leon Durham.
Well, okay, Durham.
So the Leon Durham
had a great year.
And we got Jerry Morales too in that. I'm not sure about that one. I'm not sure if we got Jerry Morales in that trade.
But I mean, Suter was so dominant.
Yes, he
was. He pitched 2 or 3 innings at a time if he had to. Kadire runs again, and Mayberry drills it to left center. But Grichuk comes over and dives and makes another great catch. Throws back to first, stretched by Adams, and they get the double play. Wow! Is Randall Grichuk having himself a few days to remember?
This is a better catch than the other one the other night.
And then the throw.
Did he stay on the bag, Gare? I don't know.
Well, the Mets might challenge that. The did retouch second base.
What a play.
He appeared to be off the bat. But the Mets apparently are not challenging. After 2, Mets and Cardinals, no score. And on further review, looks like Matt Adams might have stayed on the bag.
Okay. Yes, you're right. Nice play. No question. No question. And he didn't know where the ball was, Gary. A late pickup or where the ball was. That's why he got caught on the steal. So Cardinals are Grichuk. Gosh almighty, he's quite a talent.
Here's Tony Cruz getting his first start in the series. Cruz pinch hit in each of the first 3 games. 1 for 3 in the series. It's kind of like being a backup quarterback to a star NFL QB when you're the backup catcher for the Cardinals. DeGrom throws out Cruz one away. There's not a lot of opportunities behind Molina, although last year Molina tore up his thumb and Cruz had to play quite a bit. Molina missed 40 games. Well, here's Garcia, who's got a couple of home runs in his career, lifetime 153 hitter.
There's Yadier.
He's in a rare position for him. Idle.
It's a perfect, nice shot right there. Like that. What a beautiful ballpark.
A lot of kids in the ballpark today. Weather Education Day, and many thousand school kids are on hand.
There they are.
Many schools from around the city well represented today. Low section 501. Slap to Flores. Has time with the pitcher running. 2 out. Well, here's our Verizon trivia question, making an early appearance today. Which Mets pitcher with at least 15 starts had the best earned run average at Shea Stadium?
Oh, come on.
We showed you that DeGrom, through his first 15 starts, has the best home ERA.
That's a tough one.
Here at Citi Field.
15 starts. Shea, all that history.
Oh, it's either Doc or Seaver. Okay?
You might be surprised.
Well, it could be somebody who had a briefer tenure.
Like maybe like a guy like Terry Leach. Remember the one year he came in and did won all those games for us? Oh. Excuse me, guy. I got to go plug in the heater here. I'm getting a little cold on my feet.
It's all right. You can talk while you're on the floor. I mean, I don't know if our booth camera is working, but if you'd been here a moment ago, you would have seen Keith crawling on the floor. It's a sight to behold.
This is a gift from the gods right here, folks.
Juan strikes out to end the inning. 6 strikeouts in the first 3 innings for Jacob DeGrom. No score in the middle of the 3rd. YMCA are taking in the game. This special group participated in the City Kids program prior to the game with special guest and TV chef star Marcus Samuelson. Welcome, kids. Some of the throng on hand for today's game. Eric Campbell leads off for the Mets in the home third against Jaime Garcia, who's issued a leadoff walk in each of the first 2 innings, but gotten a double play in each inning. Campbell hitting 7th in the order, takes a cutter inside. Campbell 0 for his last 10 after a quick start after his recall. He was called up when Delson Herrera went on the disabled list with a broken finger. And Garcia again behind the leadoff hitter, 2-0. Kevin Plawecki hitting 8th. Mets have been batting the pitcher 8th recently, but with a left-hand batting pitcher and a lefty on the mound. Terry Collins put DeGrom in the 9-hole today. And 3-0. DeGrom's got a streak going, you know. He's had hits in his last 4 at bats.
That's right. He's got the 3 throw going.
The Mets record for consecutive hits by a pitcher is 5, and of all people, Jerry Koosman has the record.
Really?
Which is surprising because Koos was not a particularly good hitter. 3-2 to Campbell. Who would have figured Seaver or Gooden or Darling or Hampton or somebody, you know, who could really swing the bat would have that record. Ball 4, and for the 3rd straight inning, Garcia walks the leadoff batter. Well, it's not a recommended formula for success, but it's worked for him so far. Now Plawecki will come to bat. Kevin's 1 for 7 in this series. This is now the 21st game that Plawecki is starting. Travis d'Arnaud slowly but surely starting to swing a bat after coming back from a broken hand. And probably going to be 10 days to 2 weeks before the Mets get d'Arnaud back. Mr. graduates taking batting practice and then live batting practice, and then sent him out for some rehab games.
I liked his energy he brings to the ballpark. He plays, he's very into the game, every pitch, energetic, and he can hit. Nice, he's a good line drive hitter with pop.
Success in limited at bats against lefties. It's a 308 average. 4 for 13. Campbell at first and nobody out. Looks like he fouls it off. 2
home runs on those 4 hits. Both of his home runs are off left-handers. Have not yet hit a home run off a right-hander. Plawecki. That's correct, right, Gary? Yeah, it is.
I think it is.
Yep. I marked it in my book. It better be.
Well, if it's in your book, it's sacrosanct.
Oh, look at the little baby.
Fly ball, well hit to center. Grichuk angling back and gets there. That's the first out, and Campbell back to first.
Grichuk. You know, this is what I miss about the having 3 divisions. Is that you don't get to see these teams twice in the other divisions. Now, naturally, the Cardinals would have been in the East. Be playing them. We see plenty of them. But it's hard to make a value assessment on a player when you only see 6 games in the course of a season. And unless you get a guy that comes in and stars like Grichuk is.
And it could be the best week he has all season.
Precisely.
You never know.
Precisely.
See if DeGrom's asked to bunt. He is squaring as Garcia throws over. DeGrom does not have a sacrifice this year, but he does have 5 hits and is batting .294, which is the highest average among major league pitchers who've had at least 10 at bats. So there's no guarantee he's going to be bunting. Carpenter certainly believes he is. And on the grass at third.
A little bit too tight for comfort, even though it's a bunt situation. You just don't know that. It's 1-0 count now. You just got to be a little more conservative because the manager might give him 1 strike to swing.
I think if there were a right-hander on the mound, he wouldn't be bunting at all. But lefty on lefty, I think Terry might well ask him to continue to bunt. And he gets a nice bunt down.
Get the job done.
Adams makes the play, 3 unassisted, and Campbell moves to second. First sack of the year for DeGrom. Something the Met pitching staff has not been doing well this year, but DeGrom gets the job done.
Look at the focus, the down low, level bat. Let the ball strike the bat. Well done. Well, he's all legs, isn't he? And hair.
So 2 out, Campbell at second, and here's Lagares, who walked his first time up. That's looking for their first hit against Tommy Garcia in his first start in 11 months. And throws the slider inside for ball 1. Garcia, born in Mexico, moved with his family to Texas, only about 5 miles from where they had been living in Mexico, so he could go to high school in the U.S. Mission, Texas.
So probably on the main road. I could be wrong too, but that was the main highway. Was San Antonio connected down to Brownsville area. The main highway running up northeast to San Antonio.
Behind 2-0, Lagares grounds 1 to short. Peralta able to ignore the runner in front of him and throws out Lagares to end the inning. 3 straight leadoff walks for Garcia, but still no score. Outs in the first 3 innings. 9 first pitch strikes to the first 10 batters. Matt Carpenter, the only blemish against DeGrom, had an opposite field single in the first inning. Carpenter, Peralta, and Adams in the 4th, and the changeup blown away for ball 1.
Oh, there's the one I singled out. Cardinal fans.
Well, you never know. The baby could be a Met fan.
That's right. Oh, there's the baby. 3rd row. That's right. 3rd row is where the baby is.
2-2 to Carpenter. They're the extra base hit leaders in the National League. Carpenter with 16 doubles and 7 home runs. It's behind Adrian Gonzalez for the National League lead. Presented by DraftKings. Play daily fantasy baseball for free on DraftKings.com. Enter code NYM for free entry. Murphy slides over to get it and throws out Carpenter for the first out.
Nice smooth backhand by Murph.
So 1 out and nobody on. Now Johnny Peralta, who took a call third strike his first time up. You were talking about your former teammate Bruce Sutter and how much success you had against him while he was a Cub. You weren't kidding.
I know.
15 hits in 35 at bats, a .429 average.
But guess what? There was never anybody on base for me to drive in.
That's probably so. And I noticed that there's no home run notation here.
Oh, I couldn't try to hit a home run off him with that pitch.
I mean, he never got a pitch above the knees.
No, you had to make him get it up. If he got ahead of you 0-2, if he got ahead 0-1, he'd throw it harder and lower. 0-2, he'd throw it harder in the dirt. And I kind of just
and he had that quick little funky delivery too.
If I was a right-hand hitter, it would have been murder. That's one of the advantages of being a left-hand hitter. Predominantly right-hand pitching. And then there's pitchers that were stinko and they got me out.
1-2 from DeGrom, and he pops Peralta inside. 2-2. Matt Adams, the on deck batter. Cardinals have 1 hit. The Mets looking for their first. 2-2. Bounce foul. And again, Peralta extending turns at bat with foul balls, and he's been doing this throughout this series. Johnny Peralta in his second year with the Cardinals after signing a 4-year, $52 million deal 2 winters ago. That's fouled, and Peralta stays alive. 2 winters ago, when Peralta signed with the Cardinals, I think he was one of the first free agent signings that winter after the Mets had their designs on making a play for him. Remember, he'd had the suspension late that season with the Tigers, but he'd come back in the postseason and played well.
Well, he got a lot of criticism from players around the league being rewarded with a big contract by the Cardinals after being caught with the PEDs, and it's all forgotten now.
Of course, that was the Cardinals' choice. And he goes down swinging, up and away. 7 strikeouts for DeGrom, 2 out.
Well, Jacob has found it. This is a very difficult lineup to pitch to. You see, he's backing it up. And the K's are mounting.
Now those are nice. But remember the last start, they had the K's that were made of combs.
Right. Well, that groove's probably not here.
Oh, come on. Got to have some follow-up.
Oh, boy.
And quickly ahead on Adams, 0-2. Adams struck out his first time up. DeGrom's season high in strikeouts is 9. His career high is 13. Of course, you remember his most memorable strikeout game against the Marlins when he struck out the first 8 batters of the game last September, tying a major league record. I think he can only do that when he's wearing camo. 0-2. Popped up. Flores makes the call. Side retired. 11 in a row retired by DeGrom. Still no score in the 4th. style to eating a hot dog. You can eat it overhand. You can eat it underhand.
He's got nothing. He's eating it raw.
Yeah.
I'm not raw.
Well, he's eating it unadorned.
You got to put a little something on it. A little mustard.
You know, a lot of kids don't like mustard. They find it a little bit too harsh. It's nice to see that he's not eating ketchup on it.
No relish, please. I didn't like onions on a hot dog either.
Sauerkraut, though.
Sauerkraut, yes.
Mustard and sauerkraut, that's the New York way.
But there's something when you're a kid you didn't like sauerkraut.
I loved sauerkraut when I was a kid.
Is that why you're so sour?
Do you think I'm sour? I thought I was a sweetheart.
I never liked sauerkraut until I got older.
You know what? I didn't like it if it came out of the refrigerator, because I didn't like the texture of it. But if you go to the soubrette stand and you get the little dab of mustard with the stick, right? And then the warm sauerkraut on the warm hot dog, that went perfect. Peralta in front of Flores' ground ball. One out in the home fourth. It's play ball week on SNY. We've teamed up with the New York Mets and Caldwell Banker to help support local youth baseball and softball leagues. Last Saturday, 150 kids took part in a skills clinic with Mets coaches at Citi Field. The youngsters from Glen Oaks Little League in Queens and Jaws Little League in the Bronx participated in drills and received tips from Met coaches Tim Tuffle, Dan Worthington, and Tom Goodwin. Catch more on play ball all this week on SNY.
You don't like ketchup, right, Gary?
I'm not a big pet ketchup guy. I used to like it on my hamburgers, but I find it a little too sweet.
I like mustard and ketchup blended together
See, that's
on my hot dog.
That's what that guy had in his.
That's what I like.
His little Nathan's pouch there. He had the mustard and the ketchup together. There's the relish that I don't think you care for.
No. What is that relish made? What is it?
A pickle. Yeah. Hey, airplanes.
How about that?
Duda stepping out with airplanes.
I just did that disrupt. I forged that reputation of doing that, and all I wanted to do was break up the rhythm of the pitcher. I could have hit with the noise. And Rusty would tell you he loved to hit with the noise. And this made perfect sense. He goes, because the outfielders could not hear the crack of the bat and wouldn't know how hard he hit the ball or how soft.
That's Rusty. Always thinking the game.
The big orange.
Garcia, for the first time in this fourth inning, did not walk the leadoff batter. But now he's behind on Duda, 3-1.
Good, his tongue sticking out. That's interesting.
David Wright. Michael Jordan.
It's almost like a cartoon character.
Well, you can imagine how this feels for him. He has had so much physical misfortune. Just 16 starts combined the last 2 years, and now back at it and trying to stick around. 3-2 to Lucas, and he gets jammed, but he takes inside ball 4. Fourth walk given up by Garcia. Still no hits for the Mets. And the Mets offense continues to struggle in this series. Just 4 runs scored.
Well,
and in the last 22 games, 16 of the 22 they scored 3 runs or fewer.
Well, let's look at the Cardinal pitching. They lead the National League in earned run average, 2.72 coming in. Least amount of home runs given up. Middle of the pack in walks.
Well, here's another piece. You know, Wainwright got hurt in April. And coming into this series, the Cardinals had played 22 games since Wainwright went down. And in only 5 of those 22 games had their starter gone at least 6 innings, which put a ton of pressure on the bullpen. But they've gone at least 6 in every game in this series.
They got a tough series coming up. They're on their way to Kansas City after this series.
It's big for more than one reason.
Yep.
Kansas City's a terrific team, but it's also that
rivalry,
cross Missouri rivalry. Was it I-70?
Yes, and I can never forget that World Series the Cardinals had with Kansas City. 85. They had them down 3-1, and they blew the series.
Well, that Don Denkinger call at first base did not help. Into left center. Here comes Grichuk again, but this time he'll play it on a hop with his bare hand. And Kadire has the Mets' first hit of the day.
Well, hit it a little softer. This guy is an athlete. I like him multitasking, chewing that gum while he went after the ball. Oh, okay, I'll just bare hand this piece of cake.
Looks pretty confident about that. So the Mets get 2 men aboard here in the 4th, and a chance for Daniel Murphy, who went down looking on 3 pitches his first time up.
Remember,
Duda at second, Kadire at first.
Remember, he dropped a slow hook on him to strike him out the first time he threw the pitch.
Oh, that's an ugly cut by Murphy.
Well, he just
a high breaking ball.
I think he was looking for a slider and was intent on hitting a slider. It wasn't really that bad a swing. He just was trying to let. He knew it was a ball and tried to let up, but that ball was a strike. He was going to cover it.
Now has Garcia thrown another slow curve since the one he struck Murphy out on?
Just the one he walked Duda on.
Okay. Murphy pokes it foul when it's 0-2. So Garcia has walked 4 and struck out 2, but given up just the 1 hit. The Mets trying to cash it in. We don't know how deep they'll go with Garcia. His last rehab start last Friday, he threw 90 pitches in 6 innings in Double-A. But whether they let him throw 90 to 100 today, Mike Matheny was not letting on. Toward the hole, base hit. Duda to hold up. He'll go to third, and the Mets have the bases loaded with 1 out.
Well, see what happens when you stay level on a high pitch. You get jammed, and you have strong enough to muscle it into left field. If you're swinging up, it's a fly ball pop up. There's Carpenter blowing bubbles going after that ball.
Multitasking.
They're a very talented group.
So here's Mayberry with a chance to cash in. Bases loaded, 1 out. Last time up, he was robbed of a base hit, a diving catch by Grichuk, who then doubled Kadire off first base.
Came right after him inside.
That's with back-to-back hits now off Garcia. And Cruz goes down to block it, 1-1. Bases loaded. The Mets have had their best offensive numbers this year. 1 grand slam. That was off the bat of Wilmer Flores.
Pitcher's always in trouble when the bases are loaded.
Pulled, foul. Incoming.
Not bad for a big guy, huh?
The Duda dipsy do. Garcia had 1-2. And Mayberry hits it toward the hole. Carpenter can't get it. Base hit. Duda scores. Everybody else moves up a base. And the Mets have the first run of the afternoon. Mayberry just got it by Carpenter to drive in the game's first run.
Well, again, Mayberry struggling. Got the game winner on that extra inning game in the opening of the game of the series.
Hit it almost the exact same spot.
Yep.
But he got the game-winning hit on Monday.
Drives in a run here, finally breaking through, and finally the walks are dodging a bullet for the first 3 innings was Garcia, and now he's in a bit of trouble.
Derek Lilliquist, the Cardinal pitching coach, out for a conversation. No action in the Cardinal bullpen. Lilliquist talking to Garcia, who's at 66 pitches for the afternoon. It would appear as though the Cardinal baby is out for a walk. Here's Campbell, who walked his first time up. Dyer now at third, Murphy at second, Mayberry at first with one out, a run in, and a chance for more.
Well, they're going to play back for two, as they should. Slight pull in center field, but everybody else is the corner outfield is straight up.
That leaves a lot of right center for Campbell.
Campbell hits the ball down the right field line. Probably playing him a little more to pull because you got a soft tossing lefty out there. I shouldn't say that. That's demeaning. It's not an overpowering lefty out there.
1-1 to Campbell.
Do not want to demean anybody, Gary.
Kevin Plawecki on deck. And Campbell grounds one down to Carpenter. Out at second. Wong with the turn. Out at first. And the inning comes to an end. Third double play in the first 4 innings for the Cardinals. But the Mets score first on Mayberry's bases loaded hit. 1-0 Mets after 4. With the Pirates, it'll be Noah Syndergaard against Garrett Cole tomorrow night. Our coverage begins at 6 o'clock right here on SNY. For more on the Pirates, let's go to Steve Gelbs, whose report today is brought to you by Prism. Steve?
Gary, you may remember the name Jung-Oh Kang. He was the Korean shortstop that a lot of people thought the Mets might take a look at this offseason. There was questions about whether or not his skills could translate, though, to the major league game. He signed with the Pirates, and after a rough start, he's starting to come on. First 12 games of the season, hit just 182, only started 5 games. Last 16, though, he's really taken over at shortstop for Jody Mercer, hitting .362, couple of home runs for the Pirates. Only thing going well for them, they've lost 6 of 7.
They weren't sure where they were going to play Gong when they first got him, but Mercer's hitting 171, so it's kind of a slam dunk. He's not a great fielder. It's funny, you know, the Mets have said the same thing about Wilmer Flores that the Pirates are now saying about Gong, which is that they hope he can be like Johnny Peralta. Guy doesn't have a ton of range, but it's a big shortstop who is going to be an offensive player. Grichuk goes down on strikes for the second time, and that's 8 for DeGrom to start the 5th inning.
Now they've added on a new Gold Glove.
I love the Mex burger. That's the one with the bacon and jalapeno, the guacamole.
I may have to go out there and make sure that they're doing it proper over there.
Have you not done that recently?
You know how they slough, you know, if you don't supervise.
1 out and nobody on. Here's Hayward, who took a call third strike his first time up. I thought you were out there with a whip every day. After all, place has your name on it. You don't want to be, you know.
That's right.
You don't want to be slacking. Those guys look like they're working very hard, though.
Yes, they are.
Mixing the cheese just right. Staying away from the relish. Guess we know how you feel about relish.
By the way,
Hayward.
Just noticing the refrigerator full of soda pop behind there. Did you read the article in the paper with the law they passed at Berkeley, California, which was passed by the citizens, which is fine with me, that they put a tax on soda pop, $1, I think $1.29, a tax on soda pop, and I forget how much money they made in the first month.
Duda with the pickup. Hayward retired, 2 out. That's 13 in a row retired by DeGrom.
I don't know why I brought that up. I just thought it was kind of interesting.
I notice how you split the difference on the regionalization of the word for soft drink. You know, here in the East we call it soda, and the Midwest they call it pop, but you call it both.
Soda pop. That's a Western phrase.
Mark Reynolds grounded out to short his first time up. And it's popped up into shallow right. Mayberry circles in. And DeGrom keeps rolling along after getting his run. He throws up another 1, 2, 3 inning. He's retired 14 in a row. As Keith's grill is cooking halfway through 1-0.
Good.
Home 5th inning. Kevin Plawecki leads off for the Mets. Mets got a run on a bases loaded hit by John Mayberry in the 4th. They've been thwarted by 3 double plays in the first 4 innings. Jaime Garcia in his first start of the season facing Plawecki, who drove one to center his first time up that Grichuk ran down. Takes a slider for a strike. Jacob deGrom on deck, and then Juan Lagares for the Mets in the 5th. DeGrom has been tremendous today. Plawecki hits one in the air to left field, pretty deep. Back goes Reynolds onto the warning track and runs it down. Reynolds, who started his career as an infielder, playing more and more corner outfield for the Cardinals, and did a nice job there.
And don't think that Jaime Garcia is holding his collective breath here. Nice play. Routine, but a guy that's not familiar with the outfield. It's always an adventure.
Now DeGrom, who sacrificed his first time up, so his streak of hits in 4 straight at bats is intact. If he gets a hit here, he would tie the Mets club record for consecutive hits by a pitcher.
Remember, all of his hits were to left center field, and they're not playing that defense.
Curveball hit right to the second baseman.
Check that.
Streak over.
Slow curve.
Hey kids, you can win a chance to join us in the booth and call a Mets game on SNY. Just go to sny.tv/Kidcaster. Submit an essay on the topic provided, and you'll be entered in the SNY Kidcaster contest presented by New York's 529 College Savings Program. So 2 out and nobody on. Garcia with a chance for his first 1-2-3 inning. He starts his 3rd time around the batting order. Juan Lagares has walked and grounded out 0 for 1. And he sinks it low for ball 1. Lagares batting leadoff today with Granderson getting the day off. The plan going into the spring was for Lagares to potentially become the full-time leadoff hitter, but that never materialized. Remember back in that first series, the Mets played the Nationals, and Terry said he wanted to keep Lagares from having too much pressure against that terrific pitching staff, and it's never really developed that Lagares has found that spot.
I don't really like moving him around on a lineup like they have. And people, you can sit home and say, okay, well, what's the big difference? You're in the lineup, that's all that matters. True, but you get familiar. Getting familiar, I think throw him in the water and let him swim. How's he going to get better?
Well, it's interesting that Lagares is a guy who rarely walks, and you put him in the leadoff spot today, and he walked in the first inning. And Granderson's been doing a great job of that this year.
See, Granderson's a top of the order hitter too. He's not a middle of the order hitter. He's been doing a good job leading off, walking, getting on base.
And another walk for Lagares, his 2nd of the day, only his 7th of the year.
But you could bat, Granderson 2nd, but I'm sure they don't want Granderson and Duda back to back.
Well, and I think they intend to put David Wright back in that 2-hole when he's ready.
And I don't like that 2-hole idea. They haven't sold me on that one yet. They just haven't done it.
Well, I think it makes more sense if you're going to bat the pitcher 8th.
Yes, because then it becomes the 3rd hitter. I agree. But when the hitter's hitting 9th, I just don't buy it. Even though they'll tell you the statistics prove it out. Okay, fine.
Lagares takes off. Garcia picks him off. 1-3-4 caught stealing. Side retired. They're easy to run on. They're hard to run on. Those lefties. After 5, 1-0 Mets. Base runner in the first 5 innings and 8 strikeouts. Tony Cruz leads off the 6th. Cruz at a comebacker his first time up. Cruz now 28 years old. Grew up in Florida. Got 135 at bats last year, a career high. And that's only because Molina was hurt for a good chunk of the season.
DeGrom has been sterling.
Gave up a first inning single to Matt Carpenter, and since then he's retired 14 in a row. Looped into shallow center, and on comes Lagares to make a terrific catch.
Well, when you play shallow, you can get burned over your head a few times this series. Homestand, Lagares has been burned over his head a couple times, but you take away the base hit. Nothing makes a hitter more angry. I go, at least speaking for myself, that would make me very angry.
More so than a guy going back and catching one against the wall.
Right. Yes.
Why?
Let me think about that. Let me think on that.
Here's Garcia fouling one off.
If a guy's playing me shallow, I'm looking to drive a ball over his head. I mean, a line drive, not trying to hit out of the ballpark. It's like, what are you doing playing me in like that? What's wrong with you?
Garcia grounded out to short his first time.
Good breaking ball there. Gosh, I'm just so pleased with DeGrom's last 2 outings. Right back on the stick.
Garcia held it in time, 1-2. Well, I don't know whether it was a strictly mechanical issue or whether it was DeGrom trying to do a little more than he did last year.
Well, you remember what Ronnie and I told you we noticed in spring, that he was up all spring training, belt high, mid thigh instead of on the knees. And you know, it's his second year. Hitters are going to get used to him. He's going to have to mix it up a little more.
Strikeout number 9 for DeGrom as he gets the opposing pitcher. 2 out. Well, this was a couple of nights ago, something I'm not sure we've ever seen before. A ball in Lagares' glove that he did not hold. Well, the triple by Grichuk.
It happens to the best of them, and he is the best. He's got the gold to prove it, and he's got my vote.
Today, ball sticks in glove. More like it. Here's Colton Wong, who's been up twice and struck out both times. This time he makes contact, but it's a nice charity hop for Murphy. And DeGrom thus is now retired 18 in a row, 17 in a row. Either way, it's pretty good. we've talked a lot about Adam Wainwright and his absence from the Cardinals rotation. Not too many pitchers since World War II have had a .600 winning percentage and an under 3 ERA. Wainwright is in that elite class. The other 6 all in the Hall of Fame. Wilmer Flores leads off in the home 6th. Jaime Garcia still in there. He's given the Cardinals 5 effective innings, although he has walked 5 batters. He's had 3 double plays and a caught stealing. Minimize any trouble. And again, he falls behind 2-0 on the first batter of the inning. And that's been the pattern for Garcia. Duda and Kadire to follow. Flores hitting second for the first time this year. And he pops one up.
Wilmer needs to. He likes that low ball, and he's on the high pitch, but he gets under it. And you know what? You keep on trying to pound a circle into a square, and it's not going to happen. So my point is this: it's a focus in batting practice of, okay, I am not going to hit a fly ball in BP. There's the defense on Lucas, the big shift. I'm going to focus on the top half of the ball, and I'm focusing on hitting line drives and ground balls. And they won't break it.
Duda hits it to right center and deep, headed toward the wall, and it's out of here. A long home run off the bat of Lucas Duda. Another home run for him against a lefty. And the Mets have a 2-0 lead. 4th home run of the year for Duda, and 3 of the 4 have been hit against left-hand pitching.
Came into the game hitting .390 against lefties. 1 for 2. He's accounted for both runs in this ballgame. He scored the run in the 4th with a walk, brought home with a single by Mayberry, and now the bomb. He's so strong here. I'm waiting for him to catch fire. Here's the pitch. Belt high, too much, not enough in. And boy, did he's, well, I guess in the old new terminology, we squared it up.
Up the middle, and Kadire's got a base hit. Second hit of the day for Michael. He's now been on base 3 times. So the Mets starting to get some much better swings and better contact against Jaime Garcia. Mets home run means $2,000 for an NYC community partner, courtesy of Citi. Five hits now for New York. Danny Murphy has one of those. Carlos Villanueva is going to go to work in the Cardinal bullpen. Murphy singled to left on an 0-2 pitch his last time up. .86 pitches now for Garcia in his first start in the big leagues in 11 months. You would have to think, though, based on what the Cardinals have seen so far from Garcia, he's going to get a little more rope to see if he can nail down this spot in the rotation.
Well, they've got to be pleased. They've got a void in that rotation.
Question is, can he stay healthy through the course of a long season? Scorched right at Wong, should be an easy double play. Peralta jumps over the sliding Kadire and turns the 4-6-3. 4th double play of the game for the Cards, but it's 2-0 Mets. runner against Jacob deGrom this afternoon. Had a first inning single. Since then, deGrom has retired 17 in a row.
There's a changeup. He hasn't been used it early in the game, but he's got such faith in his fastball. He's been power pitching, Garrett.
About to throw his 90th pitch of the afternoon. Peralta and Adams to follow in the 7th. And he throws the curveball down, 1-2. A little more breathing room for deGrom now after Duda's home run. Bullpen empty for the Mets. I'm sure that Terry is confident that deGrom can get him through the 7th. The question is, can he get any farther than that? Depends how quickly he can get through this inning if he does.
He can, but it's just not the philosophy in today's game. Look at that.
Carpenter down on strikes. That's number 10 for Jacob deGrom, his first double-digit strikeout game of the year.
Nice running fastball. Beautiful. On the knees. And there you go. Very colorful.
So deGrom, the first Met pitcher to strike out 10 in a game this year. He did it 4 times in his rookie season last year. His career high is 13. He's gotten Peralta twice, looking in the first, swinging in the 4th. A bullet, and Flores knocks it down and makes the play on Peralta, 2 out.
Well, he did knock it down.
So that's 19 in a row for deGrom. I think it hit his knee before it hit his glove, didn't it?
Jeez.
Ball caught him.
That is a pretty good analogy, Garrett.
So 2 out now, Matt Adams. And he takes a strike, knee high outside corner. Well, this is the Jacob deGrom we watched all of last year. I mean, he is just on the money today.
Well, and you know what's nice? He's a power pitcher. He's not falling in love with his secondary pitches. He's just pumping them in there. Nice breaking ball. It's a hard one. He's got his groove. I guarantee you. If this was the 80s, he'd be going 9. He's getting stronger right now. He's got all his pitches working.
Now the 1-2. And Adams able to stay alive. Well, let's see. deGrom's next start will be on Tuesday night here against the Phillies. So he'll be on regular rest again. So I don't know. I don't know how far they'll push him today. Will they let him get to 115? 1-2 coming. Struck him out. Number 11 for Jacob deGrom. Once Plawecki tosses to first. Inning over. 20 in a row retired by deGrom. 11 strikeouts. What a day.
Jeez.
hand, so it looks like he may be coming back out for the 8th inning.
He's going 8.
But what was Guerin doing? Was it a stand-up routine? I mean, he had Jacob in stitches.
I don't know. Bob is a very quirky guy. You know that.
Well, Jake will now get back in serious mode and concentrate on what's ahead of him in the 8th. Meanwhile, John Mayberry, who drove in the first Met run with a base hit in the 4th, facing Jaime Garcia. And Garcia working into the 7th inning. I don't think anybody had that on their radar when the day began.
They got to be very, very happy with this. The bullpen, another day they can rest that pen.
They've got Villanueva up in the bullpen. As Mayberry with a half swing fouls it off. And now it's Seth Maness, not Villanueva. Meanwhile, Alex Torres, the lefty. Hansel Robles, the righty, up in the Mets bullpen. DeGrom at 99 pitches through 7 innings. Mayberry with a half swing goes down on strikes. Strikeout number 3 for Garcia. There are city probables for the series in Pittsburgh. What a matchup tomorrow night. Garrett Cole against Noah Syndergaard. What a matchup on Saturday. Matt Harvey and A.J. Burnett. And the lefties, John Neese and Francisco Liriano Sunday. Cole and Burnett between them are 8-3 with a 1.88 ERA. Those two guys at the top of the Pirates rotation have kept that team from imploding early in the season. Here's Campbell fouling one. The Bucks, who have been in the postseason the last 2 years, are 18-22, mostly because their biggest hitters are not hitting. In particular, Andrew McCutchen, who's been playing through a knee injury and is hitting .238. Kevin Plawecki on deck. And Campbell skies one out to right center. Back in the gap goes Hayward near the wall to make the catch. And a long way off the bat of Campbell for the second out.
Big ballpark, even though it's part of the park where they brought the fence in. Do you remember, Gary, when we did the broadcast last year out there in that area where the Shea Bridge is?
Yep.
And that's open there. We felt the wind at our back the whole game.
Almost like a wind tunnel coming underneath the scoreboard.
I got to believe that opening blows wind in and knocks everything down in right field.
See where you can see the cars out
there.
right
there on the left of your screen.
That opening under the scoreboard.
Right under the Budweiser sign where that hut is. Right there to the right of it. You see where it's open. It tends to blow the wind. We were somewhere in that neighborhood,
right.
And felt the wind at our back the whole game. So I got to believe that's why the ball gets knocked down in right center field.
Didn't hurt Lucas Duda.
No. Well, that's a little Luke.
Plawecki's hit 2 deep fly balls today, one to center, one to left. Both have been caught. And he bangs that one off his foot 1-1. Well, DeGrom is out on deck. So Plawecki keeps the inning going. DeGrom will bat. Sunday on Mets Insider, from those who have made the jump to the majors to those waiting for the call, get an inside look at some of the Mets' top talent in Vegas and the challenges they face being so close yet so far. On Mets Insider, presented by W.B. Mason, Sunday at 5, only on SNY. Well, Jaime Garcia edging close to 100 pitches in his season debut. How do you get ready for a relief outing? A lot of stretching. I think that was Familia rolling around on the grass there.
They have their routines now, the bullpens, which I think are much better. The old days, they didn't do anything out there. They got all kinds of things to get loose.
SNY's Super Slow Motion is brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealers. Visit them on the web at searchmercedes.com. Two to Plawecki. And it just missed outside. Garcia was walking toward the dugout.
So was Cruz. The catcher. Watch the catcher. What's wrong with that pitch?
Tough to take.
If you're a hitter, thank you very much.
Now it's 3-2. And Plawecki breaks his bat. One hopper to Peralta. Side retired. Well, what an outing for Jaime Garcia in his season debut. Gets over 100 pitches, gives up only 2 runs in 7 innings, but DeGrom's been even better, and he'll take the mound for the 8th.
It's Bill DeWitt Jr., principal owner, chief executive officer. He's also prior owner, believe it or not, with the Orioles, the Reds, Texas Rangers. He's a shareholder of the Cincinnati Bengal football team.
A multi-sport star.
Yes. St. Louis guy.
Randall Grichuk leads off in the 8th inning against Jacob deGrom. First pitch, Eric Campbell, 1 out. Well, that helps deGrom out on his 100th pitch of the afternoon. He's got 1 down in the 8th. And now Jason Hayward coming to the plate. Now this has been an incredible outing for deGrom. He gave up a 1-out single to Matt Carpenter in the 1st inning, and since then has retired 21 Cardinals in a row. No walks, 11 strikeouts.
Well,
deGromination.
Displaying his wares today. He is just as our director, we were in conversation last inning. Director said, looks like he's just playing catch with the catcher.
Hayward hits one out to right field, but Mayberry's there. 2 out. New York Mets baseball on SNY is brought to you by Citi. Citi is calling up a local restaurant to be featured at Citi Field this season. Vote for a favorite now at Mets.com/Citi columns. Mitch Harris, the Naval Academy grad, up in the Cardinal bullpen. Well, now it's Mark Reynolds. deGrom has gotten the first 2 outs and only 3 pitches here in the 8th inning. Reynolds is grounded out and flied out today. Odd that on a big strikeout day for deGrom, he has not struck out Reynolds, who is renowned for his strikeouts. And he pops it up. Campbell waiting. Side retired. A 5-pitch inning for deGrom. He's retired 23 in a row. Middle of the 8th, 2-0 Mets. Chris Carlin for lots of loud conversation. Loudmouths today on SNY. Let's answer our Verizon trivia question.
It's a good one.
That pitcher with at least 15 starts had the best ERA at Shea.
So recent.
Well, he was only at Shea for one season. 2008 was his first year with the Mets and the last year of Shea. Well, the Annapolis grad Mitch Harris will make his second appearance of the series. Jerry's Familia getting ready for the save opportunity. Curtis Granderson will bat for Jacob deGrom. deGrom out after 8 spectacular innings. Granderson getting the day off today. 3 for 14 in this series. And he takes a strike, a fastball from Harris.
Sure, Familia is looking for a redeemer. Last outing, blew a save. First blown save of the year.
That was in the Tuesday night game, or the Monday night game that the Mets wound up winning.
In extra innings.
Juan Lagares on deck, then Wilmer Flores. Mets have had only 2 runs and 5 hits today. Mets have scored only 6 runs in the 4 games of this series, and they might get a split, which is phenomenal when you think about it. But it all comes down to great starting pitching. Harvey on Monday, deGrom today.
Got that right. Pitching, pitching, pitching. The game hasn't changed. Pitching, defense.
Noah Syndergaard gets the start tomorrow night in Pittsburgh, his 3rd big league start.
Looking forward to that.
And then Harvey on Saturday afternoon in the twilight. It's a 4 o'clock game Saturday. Imagine if it's a sunny day.
You know what? We are very fortunate to have a starting rotation where we got about 3 guys in it that are fun to watch.
And Granderson takes ball 4. It trickles behind Cruz. So a leadoff base runner for the Mets in the 8th. Harris pitched 2/3 of an inning in his first outing of the series Monday night and gave up a couple of hits. And now he issues a leadoff walk. And now Lagares, who's walked twice today. That's a headline. He only had 5 walks all season before the day began.
You bunt here?
That's a good question.
I hit and run. Got Flores, 2-run lead. I hit and run.
If Flores was swinging the bat a little better, maybe. But Flores is 2 for 16 in this series.
Sometimes I feel when a hitter's slumping and you put a hit and run on, and Davey Johnson felt this way, it makes the hitter concentrate more and wait longer. Juan's been out in front a lot fishing. You get a first pitch or a 2-1 count. Try to get a hit and run.
And he's bunting, and it lands foul.
And the way he bunted that, I think he did that on his own.
Well, he was bunting as though he was bunting for a base hit, not squaring for a sacrifice. I've always been a proponent of the hit and run. He's not happy with that. He wants him swinging the bat. Well, either that or he just wasn't happy with the technique on the bunt.
Technique, yes.
I think you need to just let Juan swing the bat right now. I don't think that Terry has the confidence to play hit and run with him. Randy Choate is pitching every game in this series up in the bullpen.
He would be for
Duda 2 batters away.
Yeah, he would be for Duda.
Although at this point, I'm not sure bringing a lefty in is the best formula for Lucas. Not bunting, and he takes the pitch high, 1-1. Well, Garcia went 7 innings in his first start in 11 months. 2 runs, 5 hits, a career high tying 5 walks, 3 strikeouts, and a home run. But overall, they have to be awfully happy with what they got from Garcia today. Just that deGrom was miles better.
Okay,
Lagares has to lead away.
As a manager now, you haven't seen much of Mitch Harris. This is the 2-1 as a classic hit and run count. He's been a little wild. He's walked the leadoff hitter, a little wild to Lagares, but it's also a count here now where he's got to pump a strike in. He can't go 3-1. So it's a good pitch to get a fastball, maybe a hit and run. For this two ways to look at it.
Yeah.
You follow me?
Usually you're more comfortable playing hit and run with a pitcher who you know is going to be around the plate.
But by that same token, he's got to pump a strike in here or he's in big trouble. So that's the gambit you run. My feeling is the hit and run won't be on.
Granderson at first, nobody out. 2-1 to Lagares. And it's outside, ball 3. So after walking the leadoff hitter, Harris behind Lagares, 3-1. Wilmer Flores on deck.
I think you let Granderson loose here.
Man, it's the right-hander. Choate the left-hander in the Cardinal pen.
No.
Hit to second base. Wong gets the out at second. Peralta, though, drops the ball and can't make the relay. The Cardinals looked like they had a chance to turn their 5th double play of the game, but they get just one.
I'll say one thing. They talk about Peralta not having a lot of range. He just didn't have a good exchange there. Probably balls hit too hard for him to rush this throw. That was a bullet. He could have come off the bag and thrown with a setting himself. But what I've seen from Peralta in this series is that he's got very good hands.
So Lagares now at first with 1 out. And here's Flores 0 for 3 today, 2 for 16 in this series. With Duda waiting on deck. That's up 2-0 in the 8th. And a half swing and he went around. 0-1. Jerry's Familia getting ready for the save chance in the top of the 9th. Up the middle, and Flores has a base hit. Lagares pulls it at second, and the Mets have 2 on for Duda.
And here comes Mike Matheny, and he's going to bring in the sidearmer Choate to face Lucas. Nice hitting by Wilmer.
Call to the bullpen brought to you by Verizon. Mike Matheny will bring in the lefty. Mets looking for more, leading 2-0 in the 8th. Coming up for the Mets over the next 3 series in Pittsburgh over the weekend. The Pirates have really been struggling, losing 6 of their last 7. Then the Mets come home to play the Phillies, who've been red hot all of a sudden, winning 7 of 8. Ryan Howard's begun to hit. And then the Marlins, who just have plummeted. They've lost 7 in a row. They lost again this afternoon, 7-6 to Arizona. 0-4 now under Dan Jennings. Randy Cho now will have pitched in all 4 games of this series. Comes in to face Duda, who homered his last time up. And he hits another one deep to right center. Back goes Grichuk to the wall. It's out of here. First pitch, 3-run homer. Duda strikes again. 5-0 New York. Bringing in the lefty to face Duda. It's not working.
You still got to do it. And fastball, first pitch. Or was it a hanging slide ball? And Lucas, almost the same spot, Garrett.
Well, 2 home runs for Duda today, both on the first pitch. Choate will exit after throwing that gopher ball. Pitching change brought to you by Empire City. Michael Kadire swinging at the first pitch from Seth Maness. Pokes one through the right side for his 3rd hit of the day.
3 for 3. A good sign right there. Coming into the game hitting .238. There's Lucas.
Numbers against lefties are stark. He has almost as many hits against lefties as he did all of last year, and twice as many home runs already. There are the numbers on Maness.
Sinker ball pitcher.
Second appearance in the series. Worked on Monday night. 2 scoreless innings. Randy Choate threw 1 pitch. And Duda parked it. Here's Murphy taking low. So the Mets now with a 5-0 lead. That takes away the save chance. So I wonder whether they'll still use Familia or go to somebody else for the 9th inning.
Well, Familia hasn't worked in what, 3 days?
I mean, it's such a balance there. You don't want to overwork them, but you don't want to underwork them, and you want to have them fully available for the weekend.
Correct.
By the way, for Duda, his 7th career multiple home run game, and the Mets' 2nd multiple home run game this year. Anthony Recker had 2 in Chicago last week. It's a good changeup by Maness, and it's 2-1. And both of Duda's home runs, both against lefties, but also both on the first pitch, Keith.
Yes.
Something we didn't see a lot of in last year.
I don't think that would have happened last year. First half, before Memorial Day.
Mets now with 5 runs and 8 hits. Duda's driven in 4 of the 5 runs. Probably just as important, though, the day for Kadire, who's trying to find himself, and today is 3 for 3 and a walk. It looks like Familia is going to continue to warm up and come on, and Murphy takes one the other way for his second hit of the day. So Maness has come in and thrown some gasoline. Back-to-back base hits by Kadire and Murphy.
Hey, maybe the middle of the lineup is catching up, catching a little fire.
So now John Mayberry, who drove in the first run of this game with a single back in the 4th, 1 for 3 today.
What are those things called when they blow wind in the fireplace? They're called bellows. Bellows. Break out the bellows. Keep that fire going.
You're saying that the embers are starting to glow?
Possibly. Like what I've seen from Kadire today, and Murph, and Duda. How can you not like what you've seen for him? Look at that. Not 3, 4, and 5 in the order. 7 hits. 7 for 10. That'll work.
Well, Jaime Garcia kept the Cardinals in this game for 7 innings, but the bullpen has blown it up. Mitch Harris faced 3 batters, retired only 1. Choate gave up the home run to Duda. Now Maness has given up back-to-back hits. 2-1 to Mayberry. Look at that. Now again, look at the number at the bottom. First pitch swings generally produce a high average, but not 625, which is what 10 for 16 is.
Well, your first pitch hitting, Gary, it depends. You're going to be looking fastball, and if you're geared fastball and they throw you a la-di-da curveball or a breaking pitch, you can still rip it. But never let a hitter get in front of you. Pitcher, excuse me.
Well, you can also, if you're looking for a fastball and they throw you a curve, you can take it, right?
Precisely. It's a pitch you want to be aggressively attack and have an idea what you want to do. If you get it, and it shouldn't just be a little old circle, a little tiny little spot in the strike zone. You should be looking for. You should be able to, when you're looking for first pitch, you should be able to cover over half the plate. I think most hitters, particularly if it's a heater.
Three and 2 to Mayberry, and he walked him. Bases loaded.
Wow.
Maness really upset with himself, I would assume. Or is he yelling at Adrian Johnson? Johnson gives him a withering glance and then turns away. So Maness has faced 3 batters and hasn't retired any of them. 2 singles and a walk, and the Mets have the bases loaded. Coming up later tonight, 10:30, Geico Sports Night. Chris Carlin will be on hand. Looking ahead to Rangers Lightning Game 4, and top 10 reasons why a treadmill is overrated from Chris tonight. Will he have celebrities doing the top 10 like Dave did last night?
I don't know. I don't think the treadmill is very big in Chris's life.
I think that's what he's letting on.
Yep.
Kadire, Murphy, and Mayberry, the base runners. Campbell hits one about 3 inches and runs into it, and they say foul ball. Ball apparently hit him while still in the batter's box. And that appears to be the proper call. Campbell, the 8th man up in the inning. Mets have scored 3 times, still only 1 out. And Hansel Robles now gets up alongside Familia.
I like the way Robles threw his last time out, and that was in a tight ball game, if I recall, Gary. That was that first game of the series. And he came in, and I was very curious to see how he'd perform. It's a 1-1 ball game, and he had a strong inning.
I don't understand why Familia is still up. I guess 5 runs they would still bring him in, but 6 or 7 they wouldn't.
Maybe soft tossing. Just he hasn't pitched in 3 days.
I just wonder what the threshold is. Strike 3 called, and Campbell is out for the second out of the inning. Well, there's the Miami loss.
Wow.
They had a 3-1 lead in that game. They let it get away. Had a 4-2 lead. Arizona got the deciding run in the 8th, and the Marlins have lost 7 in a row. 16 and 26 now in the year, and 0-4 since they changed managers. Kadire at third. Murphy at second, Mayberry at first. Now Plawecki, the ninth man up in the inning, takes a strike. Curtis Granderson, who led off this inning as a pinch hitter by drawing a walk, is now on deck. Four hits, 2 walks in the inning.
Wow.
Duda with the big blow, his second home run of the game, a 3-run shot. Randy Cho thinking about better days when he drew a walk the other night. It's a strike, 1-2. Knocked down by Cruz. That keeps Kadire at third, 2-2. Two and two to Plawecki, and he goes down on strikes to end the inning. But the Mets put up 3 runs in the bottom of the 8th inning on Lucas Duda's second home run of the day. 5th of the year for Lucas. It's 4 RBI day for him and a 5-0 lead for the Mets going to the 9th. Moves from right field to left field. Curtis Granderson, who pinch hit, stays in right, and J. Reese Familia, despite a 5-run lead, is going to be asked to pitch the 9th inning.
Well, it's a redeemer game here, even though he probably wishes it was a save situation, but I think they're just getting him some work. Blew his first save his last time out. He's been so terrific this year.
That was Monday night in the opening game of this series. Gave up a couple of hits and a sacrifice fly in the 9th and gave the Mets 1 in 14. Here's Tony Cruz 0 for 2 today, and he takes inside for ball 1. Peter Borges is out on deck to pinch hit for the Cardinals, and then Colton Wong behind him. Cardinals have had 1 base runner all day. Jacob deGrom was fantastic. Matt Carpenter singled with 1 out in the first, and deGrom then proceeded to retire every batter he faced. 23 in a row. and 11 strikeouts.
Superb. Sterling.
There's a strike, 2-1.
Sign him up.
I mean, DeGrom had his bobbles. He had the start in Chicago where he walked 4 and was really not himself. Past the mound, and Murphy is right there to field it and throws out Cruz one away. But they worked on his mechanics. They worked on shortening his stride. He had a really good outing against Milwaukee and an off the charts performance when you're considering he was facing a Cardinal team that scored 19 runs the last 2 days.
It's the best pitching performance of the season thus far. And here we are, just what, a game or two over the quarter mark of the season. It's the finest pitching performance by a Met starter this year thus far.
He lowered his ERA to 2.75 for the year. Here's Peter Borges pinch hitting with 1 out in the 9th. And overpowered by Familia, 0-1.
You're not going to make contact with that hard sinker down and in like this one. You got to lay off. Easier said than done. Sitting up here.
Colton Wong on deck. Borges 2 for 7 in the series, and the quick pitch by Familia misses. Ball and a strike. Well, I think the way this series has gone, the Mets will be thrilled to get out of here with a split.
Hey, it's a Cardinal team. Garrett, let's be real. You're playing at home against the team with the best record in the National League. I think the best team I've seen so far. Yet to see the Dodgers, of course. They're more impressive to me than Washington. And strike 3 and a hard sinker. It's hard to get 3 out of 4 from good teams. I don't care if you're home.
Well, especially if you get blown out in 2 games and you score only 9 runs in a 4-game series. If you get a split, you should be awfully happy. And that will be the circumstance if Familia can get 1 more out.
So what's the old saying? You play .500 against the first division teams and you kick Fanny on the second division teams.
Is that the expression?
Well, I embellished.
Colton Wong. So between DeGrom and Familia, 25 consecutive Cardinals have been retired since Carpenter's single in the first. Familia trying to finish off a combined 1-hitter. To another Wong. We've talked about it often in this series. What a difference a day can make. Whether it's for Randall Grichuk going from 5 strikeouts to 5 extra base hits in 2 days, or the Mets pitching staff going from giving up 19 runs in 2 days to potentially throwing a 1-hit shutout.
It's going to be hard for this Met team to really hit the skid, a real tough skid, a long skid with the starting rotation and the bullpen. The bullpen's been good too. And they kind of had to mix and match with all the injuries to the bullpen. And there's tomorrow's starter, who I thought threw a scintillating game against the Brew Crew. Got his first major league win, Garrett.
Cardinals are down to their final strike. Wong lines one up the middle, and that'll keep it alive. The second St. Louis base runner of the day. After 25 straight, Cardinals were retired.
Well, 1 a day keeps the doctor away. Wong 0 for 3 coming in. Gets his, when you got a tough pitcher out there in DeGrom and Familia, you get your 1 and you feel like you got out of Dodge.
So now Carpenter, who had the first Cardinal hit way back in the first inning. Wong at first and 2 out. He's running, and he'll take second on defensive indifference as Carpenter takes a strike. Carpenter tried to hold, but he went around. Doug Eddings with the call at third base, and it's 0-2.
Carpenter just hasn't looked right the whole series.
2 for 13 in the 4 games. So again, Familia's 1 strike away. Just missed. 99. 1-2. Johnny Peralta would be next. By the way, the Nats are off today, so the Mets will end the day in 2nd place. Even if they get a win, they'd be a half game behind Washington.
Mets aren't going to go away. Neither are the Nationals.
1-2. He struck him out, and the ball game is over. A combined 2-hit shutout by DeGrom and Familia. DeGrom with an extraordinary effort gives up just 1 hit and strikes out 11 over 8 innings. Lucas Duda with a big day with a pair of homers and 4 RBIs. And the Mets get a split of the 4-game series with the Cardinals with a 5-0 win.
Well, it was all two-man show today. DeGrom, it's the best performance of any pitcher so far this year. 1 hitter, 11 strikeouts in 8 innings, 23 in a row. And Lucas Duda with the big blow, 2 home runs, drove in 4 runs, 2 for 3. And Kadire and Murphy in the middle of that order had good at bats, 3 for 3 for Kadire and 2 for 4 for Murph.
Extraordinary effort by DeGrom, now 5-4 with a 2.75 ERA through his first 9 starts of the season. Good. For every Mets win, the Mets Foundation is proud to contribute $2,500 to the Cats Women's Hospital and the Cats Institute for Women's Health. For more information, visit northshorelij.com/KIWH. This win brings the total contribution so far this season to $60,000. Mets win at 5-0. Let's go downstairs to Steve Gelb. Steve?
Gary, huge day from Lucas Duda. And Lucas, I know you're a humble guy. You enjoy talking about other people before yourself. So let's start with your starting pitcher today. As good as you've seen DeGrom?
Yeah, he's outstanding. Every time he goes out there, he does something special. And today was just another example. So unbelievable job by him. Unbelievable.
Lucas, as many home runs against lefties today for you as you had all last season. What's been the main key in your complete turnaround against left-handed pitching?
Yeah, it's just one of those things. Try to get a good pitch to hit and put the barrel on it. That's really it.
That's it. That's all you can give me, Lucas. There's got to be something different that you did last season and this season.
Nah, I wish I knew, but just trying to get a good pitch to hit and try to put the barrel on it. That's just really it.
Both home runs today, first pitch of the at-bat. Did you go up extra aggressive today?
Like I said, I was just going up there trying to get a good pitch to hit. Whatever it was. Just try to put a good swing on it, make solid contact, and, that's it.
Put a couple of good swings on it, did Lucas Duda. Thanks, Lucas. Gary?
All right, thanks, Steve. Mets win at 5-0 and get a split of the 4-game series with the Cardinals as they head off to Pittsburgh. We'll come back with more from Citi Field in just a moment.